Pakistan, land of titanic mountains, land of endless deserts, land of colors and ancient traditions. Welcome to Pakistan. A colorful truck crosses remote valleys, an ancient river feeds boundless plains, a snow-covered peak rises toward the sky. Welcome to Pakistan. Welcome, where the world reaches its highest peaks. Known as the land of the pure, this is a place where gigantic mountains challenge the sky, where cold and hot deserts coexist, and where the guest is as sacred as life itself. But let's start from the beginning. Pakistan stretches from the Himalayas to the Arabian Sea, holding within itself geographic contrasts that challenge the imagination. From its lowest point, which is just a few meters above sea level along the Makran coast, to the summit of K2, this country covers an elevation range of over 8,500 meters, or 27,887 feet, one of the largest in the world. It is a land of extremes, where 3 deserts coexist with 3 different climates. There are the cold deserts of Katpana and Sarfaranga, where sand mixes with ice, or the hot deserts of Thar and Cholistan, where the sun burns relentlessly, or still there are the subtropical coastal zones on the Arabian Sea, where the ocean tempers the air. But it is toward the sky that Pakistan reveals its true greatness. 5 of the 14 so-called 8,000ers of the planet rise here, meaning the mountains that exceed 8,000 meters, or 26,247 feet, in altitude. Among these, K2 dominates at 8,611 meters, or 28,251 feet, being the second highest peak in the world, and the most dangerous to climb, having severely tested the greatest mountaineers in history. In the Karakoram, moreover, extend the vastest glaciers in the world, outside the polar regions. Some, like the Baltoro, remain surprisingly stable or even advancing, a phenomenon known as the Karakoram Anomaly, which actually defies the predictions of global planetary warming. And it is in this majestic landscape that the Indus flows, a millennial river that originates on the Tibetan border and crosses the country for over 3,000 kilometers, or 1,864 miles, irrigating valleys, plains, and deserts. Since ancient times, it has been the backbone of the Indus Valley civilization, one of the oldest in the world, and it is still today the lifeblood of the nation. Connecting the geographic extremes of this nation has been a titanic undertaking, yet Pakistan has accomplished it. For example, there is the Karakoram Highway, built between Pakistan and China, also called the 8th wonder of the world, and it is the highest paved road in the world, reaching 4,693 meters, or 15,397 feet. But it is precisely along these remote roads that vehicles become colorful canvases, where flowers, poetic verses, religious symbols, and geometric motifs completely cover trucks and buses, transforming traffic into a traveling art exhibition that celebrates life in motion. The geographic diversity of the nation is also reflected in the cultural richness of the country. In fact, over 70 languages are spoken here. Urdu is the national language, but the most widespread are Punjabi, Sindhi, Pashto, and Balochi. Each region has its own traditions, music, and cuisines that reflect centuries of exchanges and mixtures, creating a cultural mosaic of rare complexity. It should be remembered that the history of this land has roots in very ancient times. Before Islam, Pakistan was a Buddhist center of primary importance, with Taxila, which was one of the first universities in the world, and the Gandhara region produced Buddhist art that still today influences Asian aesthetics. But perhaps, more than any other characteristic, it is hospitality that defines the Pakistani soul. guests here are sacred and must be protected at all costs, reflecting a deep cultural value rooted throughout the country. A true code of honor that crosses ethnicities, languages, and religions. Pakistan, therefore, is much more than a simple nation. It is an entire world, a place that continues to tell its millennial story to anyone who visits it. But now, let's go discover the most incredible and iconic places of this nation. Lahore. Here, dust mixes with the scent of cardamom, and history speaks through the stones. Lahore preserves centuries of civilization in the Indus Valley, with every alley telling of dynasties that have shaped southern Asia. The Badshahi Imperial Mosque dominates the city, with its red domes and courtyard that welcomes 100,000 faithful, built in 1671 when the Mughal Empire touched its apex. Not far away, the Wazir Khan Mosque transforms light into colors through Majolica tiles that cover every surface. Next to the Badshahi Mosque, there is the Lahore Fort, which contains palaces decorated with thousands of mirrors and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Furthermore, a few kilometers from the city, Hiran Minar rises like an octagonal lighthouse surrounded by water, erected to commemorate a deer that Emperor Jahangir loved. In this city you can walk where the Mughals transformed power into beauty, and where 8 million people today live among decorated carts and mausoleums. Indus River. The Indus flows for 3,000 kilometers, or 1,864 miles, from the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean, crossing valleys where water decides who prospers and who doesn't. This river gave its name to India, and nourished one of the first urban civilizations in the world, which here built sewage systems, while elsewhere people lived in huts. Today, the Indus irrigates 24 million hectares, or 59.3 million acres, and sustains 180 million people who depend on its waters to cultivate cotton, wheat, and rice. The river changes color with the seasons, carrying sediments that fertilize the plains, but that also fill the dams, built to control its force. Along its banks, freshwater dolphins coexist, fishermen who still use nets, and cities that grow where water permits life in the desert. Karachi. This city extends on the Arabian Sea, with 18 million inhabitants who speak different languages, but share the same saline horizon. Karachi was born as a fishing village and grew under the British, who made it a strategic port, transforming it into the first capital of Pakistan after 1947. The Mausoleum of Quaid protects the remains of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, founder of the nation, under a dome that gleams with white marble. The Mohata Palace rises like a piece of Rajasthan transplanted onto the sea, built in 1927 with pink stone from Jodhpur. The Tuba Mosque is distinguished by the largest single dome in the world, with 60 meters or 197 feet in diameter without internal pillars, with acoustics that are nothing short of sensational. Here, you can breathe the energy of a metropolis where containers, skyscrapers, and hand-painted carts create an urban mosaic that never sleeps, while along the coast, families stroll at sunset and vendors offer roasted corn on the sand. Karakoram Highway. This road climbs up to 4,500 meters, or 14,764 feet, through 3 mountain ranges connecting Pakistan and China, along a route where once caravans loaded with silk passed. The construction lasted 20 years and claimed the lives of 810 workers, buried by avalanches or fallen into precipices while cutting rock with dynamite and pickaxes. The highway follows ancient trade routes that united Kashgar to Islamabad, passing through gorges where rivers flow thousands of meters or thousands of feet below. Along the route, one encounters Hunza villages, where people live beyond 90 years and cultivate apricots on terraces carved into the mountain.